I'm Jovan Poff with Bullet Music here with Killing Grace. We got Matt, Chad, Colt, Rob, and Brandon. So my first question for you guys is, how long has Killing Grace been together, and how did the band get started?
13 years ago, me and a guy named Doug got together in a shed in Leapers Fort, Tennessee, and it was just two of us, and we started writing, and we wrote about 6 or 8 songs. About 2 of those made it through, but we started with about 6 or 8 songs, and we were together, just 2 people, for almost a year. We didn't get a drummer or a bass player. We just were doing that. So that's how it came about, and then it got started when I got online and looked for a drummer, and then we just got a bass player from a local, Sam Ash, actually, in Rivergate. We got a guy named Sean that played bass for us, and we just started out, and we didn't play a gig before we recorded our first demo. We did a 10-song demo and called 10 Pound Bullet, and then we went on for a couple years, and then we made some lineup changes, and that's kind of how we got to where we're at today.
Awesome. You guys have a loyal fan base in Nashville. What's one of your fan favorite memories?
Probably the NEMA Awards. It would have to be kind of it. The NEMA Awards, we've won 5.
We won 5.
We won 5 over the course of 4 years.
4 years, yeah.
And that is a fan-voted deal.
Yeah.
It's NEMA, it's the Nashville Independent Music Awards, and they choose the nominees, but then your fans vote.
Yeah.
And I think I know one of the years that they told us the vote wasn't even remotely close. Like everybody that had ever listened to it, I guess, voted, and so I would have to say that would probably be the top thing, is just the fact that they voted us.
It's our favorite award show for the simple fact that it's the most legitimate way to win something, because you always feel bad when people lose, because they're our friends, and we respect the other musicians. So when we win, yes, we're excited, but we're like, oh man, it sucks that somebody's got to lose. But the way they do it, fans voting, there's nothing more legitimate than, you're a local band, we're a local band, y'all have so many fans, they all voted for you, that's how you won. It wasn't a bunch of people in the room going, well, I'm friends with this guy, so we didn't know any of those people, and we're winning it. So all thanks go to our fans. If we didn't have them, that whole, y'all have won, we hadn't won anything. Our fans are why we won. Yeah. So we love the NEMA Awards, and that's my favorite. He's right. That's the greatest feeling ever, when your fans give you 5 major awards. You can't beat that.
It doesn't suck when you go play shows and people are singing your songs back to you.
Now
nobody on the level we're at right now, I've never seen anybody have that, and everywhere we go, that seems to be the case. Everybody knows our lyrics, and they just sing right along.
A couple of nights ago, a couple weeks ago, we played Shooters at a big show and played with a label mate, and that was the biggest compliment their lead singer gave to me. Was he walked up and goes, everybody in this place knew all your words to your songs, and y'all don't know covers. That should tell you something. Your music's good enough for people to know all your words, and that hit me, because I guess I took it for granted, because I know all the words too. I'm singing, so you know what I mean.
I don't.
But when some lady that's never talked to me ever, but has sat in her house and listened to our music so much, knows our words, and she's up front, and I don't even know who she is, I thought, that's pretty cool, man. We're wow. What an honor.
I can't leave out, as far as fan things, we can't really leave out the fact that we just found out that a fan is going to name their child Killing Grace.
Yeah. Now we've had a lot of fan mail.
That child is going to be really.
Yeah. We've had
really
a lot of people
that.
get tattoos. We've seen a lot of Killing Grace tattoos.
That's awesome.
Yeah, which is crazy, because none of us found a band have a Killing Grace tattoo, but we have tons of fans. So if we break up, we're going to get killed.
Is it like a logo? Is it a tattoo logo, or just your name? Okay.
Yeah, we've got a real distinctive. Well, we've got 2 distinctive logos, and all of those tattoos are one or the other,
It's like the kind of like the tribal logo.
It's that tribal, we use it's called an Odin's horn. Yeah. It's Celtic, and which Colt loves anything Celtic. He's like, did you say Viking? Oh, but Yeah,
Have
no,
you ever had
that's a good-
Norwegian beer? It's really good.
Actually, I have not. I've gotten into the mead and drinking some of it, but I haven't had any.
You should try it. They sell it at
all
HG
the
Hills.
He's had all the beer.
Okay, so your album "Speak with the Fist" is your most recent album. What's your creative process in and outside of the recording studio?
Really, with that album, it depends on the song. I mean, there were a lot of them that started, in the jam room with someone had either a vocal hook or a guitar riff or something. Then we also had some that started out just a couple of us on the couch, and a few of them it was just me and Matt getting together one day after work, and he had a vocal idea, and I kind of pounded out some guitar ideas to it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty full spread collaboration. I mean, even the songs that start out like what I was just saying, we bring it to the room and we got like a basic idea, and then everybody will start putting their pieces on it, and Rob will come up with like a structure idea we hadn't thought of, and I mean it's a 5-way split for sure, which is cool because when you get up there, I mean everybody's got a piece of it. It's not just like one guy and his backup band.
Right.
Honestly, the one thing that the people listening to this interview need to know is, don't ever let any of us tell you any different. Every one of our songs have to go through all 5 of us. So there's no way you can say all 5 of us didn't write every song.
Yeah.
That's just the truth.
And that's one thing that makes this album
special to us.
Exactly.
Yeah. Everybody that you're sitting there is all over that album. There's not one guy or 2 guys sticking out and everybody else helped.
Right.
It literally, everything flows through 5 guys, and by the time it's done, that's what you're hearing on the album. That's what makes this album's my favorite, because I couldn't do an album like that by myself.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's when you got something special, when you're like, I need those guys so bad. You know what I mean? Because it takes 5 people to make an album like that.
Absolutely, and it'll cut out any bullshit in the future.
Totally. Well, it cuts out bullshit now because honestly, we have something that, and I've been in 13 bands in my life. We have something that I've never had, or definitely never had on this level, and that is complete mutual respect. Everybody in this room looks at each other like, damn, he's a badass.
Yeah.
5 badasses, I can't lose. You know what I mean? I'm winning. I'm winning. So that's the way we feel about each other. We're like, damn, he's awesome.
And this album also was our chance. Everything on the album, production-wise as well, is us. We had a knowledgeable engineer, but
Yes.
every idea, every little effect, everything that you see on there went through us. And it was a case of when we were with our previous management company, there was a difference, I think, of what they thought we were versus what we know we are. And so on this album, nobody else had to say so. And even that guy, basically sent us a message like, you know what, you guys stuck to your guns, you had something you believe in, you stayed with it.
Yeah.
I'm happy for
And it
you,
worked.
kind of thing. So even he realized that, like, he thought he had an idea of what we should be, but we knew, and we knew where we were headed at that point wasn't us.
Okay, that ties into your first question, and this is how it does. I said 13 years ago we had this idea in Killing Grace, and we started writing songs. Now here we are today. That whole 13 years, never thought of not using a producer. It's just like a manager or anybody else. You have to have it to seem professional, or to be professional, or to move to the next level. You have to all these people in place. I always thought you got to have a producer, and you do if you don't know what you're doing. But I had an old bandmate. I flew out to San Diego, and somebody was in another band one time. He looked at me and he said, Matt, you realize you're on a certain level now where quit letting people tell you what your music's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell you? You control it. And after what we've been through all these years together, because we've been through a lot together, highs and lows too, we took this album and said, we're the producers. And we've never done that in this band. So this is why I Speak With a Fist is also very special to us. It's the most special to us. First time ever, Killing Grace went, nope, shut the door, lock it. Don't tell us your opinion. We wrote it. We know what it's supposed to sound like.
Yeah.
You can't tell me what we're supposed to sound like. We know what better than. So this was the first time we had the gumption to go, you know what? We don't need you anymore. We're going to try it ourselves. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Man, it's our biggest album yet.
Yeah.
Best everything. It's selling more. It's doing better. It's. We need to do this more often.
Yeah.
We need to have the gumption to say we're good enough to do this.
Right. next album?
Next
same way.
We're already thinking about it. We can't wait.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Who are your musical influences? I'm sure you get that question a lot.
Do you have the time?
Yeah.
Chad,
Tell her about Chad. Tell her about yours, because yours to me I've always been interesting. Like I wouldn't have picked those. That's what I'm saying. But that's cool. You know?
The question, when that question gets asked, I usually get a snapback from the person asking the question because I answer it quickly. It's Faith No More for me.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it from an early, like when I was beginning to play, and they hit about the same time that Epic hit on MTV, and I saw that and I was like, that's it. That's my band. That's what I want to do. And even to this day, as a bass player, you get a lot of people that are like, oh, it's Geddy Lee's my favorite bass player, or Steve Harris, and by all means, I love those guys. But Billy Gould from Faith No More is my number one influence of all time.
Yeah, I've never gotten that one.
Yeah.
I'm going to answer actually Colt's for him since he likes to talk. Amon Amarth, help me out. Amon Amarth, Trivium, In Flames.
Love Trivium.
In Flames, Amon Amarth, Trivium.
There's some Arch Enemy in
Trivium,
there.
Amon Amarth. Okay, Arch Enemy, Amon Amarth, Trivium. That's all you fucking hear.
Their new
He only
album
knows
is
there's 4
their new
bands
album
in
is
the world.
amazing.
There's only 4 bands in the world.
Although
like
in the
Metallica,
recent
too.
years he's been introduced.
He has been
to some
getting
old school
introduced.
thrash
Yeah, me and
Yeah.
him have
And
shown him
so-
some,
so yeah,
Testament
he's
and
kinda,
Flotsam and Jetsam, but he didn't know what that was. He's like, "What's of that?"
Had his first live experience
Right.
with Slayer.
Yeah,
That was
I took him to his first Slayer concert, and just watching the look on his face when it started was nice.
That's
I was
awesome.
like, yeah, this isn't the little kids no more. These guys are 70 and they will crush you because they're fucking
true.
Slayer.
I went to the Iron Maiden concert and
We were there. Me and you were there.
it was just nonstop.
Yeah,
Oh,
it
yeah.
didn't suck.
So,
Hit after hit.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
didn't suck.
so any new artists that you guys have been listening to?
As far as newer stuff for me, Gojira. I've just really been listening to them. I think they're really interesting. They kind of seem to be like the ridiculously heavy metal version of Pink Floyd. It's the craziest that they're so eclectic. They're heavy as can be, and
Freddie from Full Moon Productions up Knoxville, that's his favorite band in Detroit.
I said
loves
they've been
it.
around for a little while, but I just recently, but kind of like what Brandon said, it came up on my playlist, and it's like, wow, what is that, and then so I've been listening to a lot of that lately.
What was yours?
Oh yeah. Here lately I've been jamming a lot on Nothing More. Like I told the guys, they're a band that initially when I heard them, I kind of wrote them off as like a decent radio rock band. Like I heard a single, and ended up having their songs come up a lot on my playlist when I was at the gym, and they're way more than that. Just their vocals are really great, lyrics are really good, the guitar's really intelligent for what they're doing, and then also like they work some electronic ideas into their album, which normally I don't always go for that, but if it's done well, and I think they've done it pretty tastefully on their album. It just kind of mixes it up a little bit.
Yeah. So has the Nashville? My next question is about the Nashville metal scene. Being together for 13 years, a lot has changed through the years.
So what did you say? What?
A lot has changed
Oh,
in the
okay.
metal scene throughout the years. So what do you think about it now compared to then?
I've been in it the whole time. I really shouldn't answer that because I'm very biased. I think it was incredible in the Cannery days. That was the peak. I think that it was pretty strong when we broke into the Rutledge with 3 Minutes to Live and Voodoo Prophet and Lobo, and it was pretty fucking strong. I don't know if I could have said that, but if I. Yes
You
or
can
no?
cuss.
Okay. I was waiting for you to give me a yeah or no, and you were just laughing at me, and I was like, that's what those guys
Fix it
do.
in post.
It really wouldn't matter anyway.
I guess it wouldn't matter.
FCC didn't stop.
Oh, that's right. I did it on 1029, man.
No, you
After
didn't.
we promised.
No, you didn't.
Oh, that's right. I didn't.
Never
I mean,
happened.
FCC, yeah, FFC, UFC. Yeah.
It was during his cage fight.
But it was really strong. And then, I'll be honest with you, some of the bands that we kind of come up with, it's just started getting older and broke up, and it started dissolving. And then underneath us came this kind of another scene that was a lot younger and playing practice spaces and places, and that's cool. But what we were so used to on the metal scene was playing all the big clubs and rocking them out and packing them out. And then there was a point where we felt like us and Medicine Man and Valhalla and Voodoo Prophet in there. There were certain bands that were still doing well, but then we were starting only to count ourselves in like, two hands. And for Nashville, that's unacceptable. There's 1 million bands around here. Part of the problem is a lot of those bands can't get into the places we can, and the reason is we know because we used to not be able to get into there. So part of it is just the politics of the scene has never changed. It's hard to get that chance. Just like tonight's show, we've got Eye in the Sky and War Clown from Nashville, Knoxville, two established bands that are badass. The opening band of Service, another badass band. I think they've earned this show. I hope they're excited for this show because this is a hell of a show. And a band like that, I'm excited about because I remember when I couldn't get in the Rutledge, and I remember Brian Terry from 3 Minutes to Live said, "Tell you what, why don't y'all come play a show with us?" He gave us a shot, and he didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
And then we were off and running. And I'll never forget him. Brian Terry from 3 Minutes to Live. He gave us a shot. And after he gave us a shot, I said, when Killing Grace can do it, we're going to give other bands shots. It's passing it on. And to me, that's the best way to keep a scene alive, man. We don't have to be dicks to all the other bands and be like, yeah, we've already done it. We pack it. You don't. Sorry for your luck. That's a douchebag way to be.
Yeah,
when
absolutely.
I first came into it, I remember it being a lot more ego-driven. Like
Yes.
bands, when you
Yeah.
get into a place, they each pick a corner and just kind of stick to themselves.
And they don't
To where
support each other.
a couple of groups like Lobo, Doc Sinister, and stuff like that, we started really working with each other to help everybody out.
Good
and
point.
a lot of other people picked up on that attitude and kind of joined in.
Yeah,
Things got a lot more fun to party with,
And he's right that like Matt said, the Cannery days were kind of the peak.
That was the peak, man.
But then it went through a lull where and every time it's been good. And which is more than once, but every time it's been good, it was when all the bands were supporting one another
Right.
instead of competing. Now, in all honesty, if you want to be the best, or if you want to be the best in your area, whatever, it is a competition, but it can be a friendly one.
It can be,
Yeah.
It's a competition to just be better musicians, not who can get this or get that. It's who,
And I'll tell
like
you-
push it. Like we play with War Clown because they push us.
Yeah, they push. They make us better.
Yeah, they make us. The shows he was talking about from a couple of weeks ago. On a personal level, like I was following Yngwie Malmsteen's drummer.
Kinlan. They pushed
Every
us.
night.
They were gods.
And it's like-
Divided We Stand is like that. They push us. When we play them,
And-
I think I got to do better.
But I am
They're
gonna
so
take-
great, man. Kingslayer
It
pushes
really
us.
started getting like that again, though, where it was close knit, everybody was supporting, and then we started losing venues, and that
has been
really
horrible.
affected. But I am going to
horrible.
take a second, not to hate, but to just tell the truth. We were talking about these younger bands that are coming up.
Right.
Somewhere in all this, somebody started to thinking they were entitled to things instead of working.
Right.
And every little thing
Right.
that happens,
Thank
they
you.
want to go on. The first thing they want to do is go on social media
And bitch about
trash the venue.
Yeah.
And
that's
it's like,
a bitch
it's
douchebag
like,
way
dude,
to be.
it's
We need
like,
venues.
do you really think we have enough venues? I mean, no,
Yeah, the
we
band's
don't.
doing
So,
that where you don't really want to talk to Killing
and when
Grace
a
about that
venue-
because we won't get along.
See, we've had some venues
And that's Matt
recently
saying that. So
let us come in and play that will primarily cover
I'll fight all of you.
venues.
Right.
We've got some people again wanting to take a chance on original music, but then we got guys that want to come out and complain about everything instead of, you know what, if you didn't get that show, go in there and work a little harder.
Yeah.
And quit
just
being a
keep up.
bitch.
Because I mean, what if we'd done that? Like you said, when we couldn't get into Rutledge, what if we'd been like, what was you doing? If we start whining,
Yeah.
we would have went nowhere.
I'm just trying to get jumped by a
Absolutely.
bunch of younger bands right now. So.
No, it's all really true.
Quit being bitches, man.
Who are they going to
Being
get?
bitches.
Who are they going to get? Because
Yeah.
clearly, I'm not going to give them what they think they're entitled to.
Because your 12-person
What I
show
think
didn't work out.
they're
It's not my
entitled to,
fault.
maybe. But I just want to say,
Shut up.
a scene
I'm
can
gonna get
stay
jumped,
strong if
okay with
everybody
that.
just supports one another.
Absolutely.
Don't come play a show and then pack your shit and leave before anybody else plays.
Yeah.
And here's the secret, man. And I really even shouldn't give this one out. What we all started doing was 4 bands on the bill. All 4 bands, 3 of the bands stand in front of that first band. You know what? Here's the secret of packing a show. You know where people want to go? Where people are.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if they see pictures of 45 people, if we got 4 bands on there, 25 of them are just the band. All you needed was 20 more people. And they see 45 people partying in front of a band. They're like, I want to go to that. Next time it's 65. Next time it's 100. There's your secret. You're welcome. You owe Killing Grace lots of money. That's the fucking secret. But I'm just telling you, never forget, never let your ego get in the way to remember, people only want to go where other people are. Where's the party? Where's the fun time? Killing Grace at some point about 5 years ago became the fun time. Ever since then, we've been drawing 200, 250 to all of our local shows. And everybody's like, how do you do it? You know how we do it? Because we're having fun and we're not dicks.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
Not to our fans.
Okay.
our
Okay. 2 of us are dicks. The rest are really cool.
Now I'm just trying to think of which ones of you guys are. You're not.
Well, you're done with this game.
Yeah.
Oh no.
He is.
Show's over.
I'm a horrible judge of character. Okay, my last question is kind of a fun question.
They're both cold.
If you could have lunch or spend the day, if you could spend the day with anybody, dead or alive, who would it be in the world, like a megastar?
Cold.
I'm gonna have to think about that for a minute.
Rob?
man, I guess you consider Megastar, but I've actually told Matt this. I recently, found out that Ray Luzier actually lives in Nashville.
Yeah.
I'd love to go spend a day with that dude.
I watched him on stage at the residency.
He as far as like recently, last 3-4 years, 5 years, he's been a big influence on me. I love to watch him play and to hear him play. And so yeah, I'd like to hang out with that dude for a while.
What about you, Brandon?
If I were to go right off the top of my head, I'm talking megastars. I'd love to spend an afternoon with Slash from Guns N' Roses.
Yeah.
I got a feeling I couldn't hang with that guy, like on any level whatsoever. But he's strongly connected to the reason that I play music now. Back, like Chad was saying about the thing with Faith No More, my turning point was back when MTV used to play videos. I was home one day after school. I think I was like maybe in middle school. And the November Rain video came on, and that moment at the end where Slash just balls out, just steps on top of the grand piano with a cigarette lit and just rips that solo. It's like, that's what I want to do, man. Like, you can't beat that.
Yeah,
What's your
agreed.
Chad?
I mean, I'm gonna have to go right back to Faith No More, and it's gonna have to be a twosome. Yeah, exactly. It's gonna have to be. I'm gonna have to be stingy and go with 2 because not only do I want to hang out with Billy Gould, but I want to hang out with Mike Patton all day because he is badass. I'm not a vocalist, never was, never will be, but that dude, he can do no wrong vocally.
He's a god.
And on top of that,
Everybody
his
knows
stage show has always been just off the chain.
Yeah.
From early on to now. And Billy Gould's the same way. I mean, they throw down on stage. But I'd like to see what they're like hanging out. Just, people.
Yeah. For me, it's. I want to give the interesting one, which would be Perry Farrell from Jane's Addiction, because I've seen. There's no doubt I've seen.
I'm sure that would be a unique experience.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
There's no doubt I would say I've seen 5,000 concerts in my life. I'm a concert guy. I go to everybody. And my favorite bands in the world aren't my favorite show I've ever seen. My favorite show I ever seen when Jane's Addiction first came out in the late '80s, the Nothing Shocking tour, which was it's a legendary album. I saw that tour at a theater, and I've never experienced what I experienced to that. Closest would be a Rage Against the Machine show. It was a religious experience. Like, music became nothing. Breathing wasn't as important as music. Jane's Addiction did that to me, so I give them props. But to go say him, to hang out with him, while it would be amazing, the most standard answer and a boring answer, but the truth would be over him, I'd have to say Jim Morrison, because Jim Morrison in the 60s, he died in 71, was the original. You've got your Hollywood James Dean guys and all that. All that's bullshit. Jim Morrison was in my opinion, first. He was like, the Beatles were bad. Oh, you got to ban the Beatles, ban Elvis. No, when Jim came, the world had never seen something like that. He was the first, like Cobain and all them. They were later. Jim was the first one that everyone knew was about to die the second you met him. The first time you ever heard about Jim, you were like, oh, he'll not be dead tomorrow. He was such a god, but he was so on such a he was like a brilliant spark that was about to burn out, and I would have loved to had a second with the guy who wrote The End and Crystal Ship, and he was such a genius, but like most extreme geniuses, he wasn't gonna make it. You know what I mean? He was crazy, and that's what we loved about him, but that's what killed him, and I love that dichotomy of you're so brilliant that you're about to die because he can't function,
Yeah, he can't function like
I
the
would
rest
have
of
loved
us.
to have had a second with him because I might have kidnapped him and just tried to keep him alive. What would it be amazing right now? An 86-year-old Jim hanging around. Fuck you! I was in the doors.
Passing out on stages still.
Right.
So
So
type of guys that couldn't exist on the mortal
right.
plane.
So either Perry or Jim Morrison, but either one. Like he said, now the Perry, I would bring bodyguards because he is strange. I think I would get things done to me that, would make the news. Because Perry, porno for pyros. What's Perry doing, man?
Yeah, you might not be the same after that hangout session.
I just don't know if my parts can handle it, man.
What about you?
Earlier days, I would have said probably Kirk Hammett from Metallica. That was what got me into the music and really the shredding, kind of that high pitch solos and stuff. Nowadays, though, it would be really hard to pass up chance hanging out with Jimi Hendrix.
Wow.
He's not one of my heavy influences. Somebody who's really, but of course, he's badass, and that would be fucking awesome.
If you could talk to Jimi Hendrix,
yeah, man,
dude, headline Woodstock.
Hendrix
He
and
headlined the
Hendrix.
headline show, Yeah, I would like to talk to Jimmy just and go, I'll wash your feet, dude. Do you know who you are? And he'd probably go, I know who I am.
and you're
I've been me my whole life. Right. Yeah, like that reference is I actually met Lemmy, but I never met him because he never turned around and looked at me. But he talked to me. And the way he did it was I was going in the pisser I can say that. So I'm going in the pisser, and he was playing on a poker machine at the Rainbow, and I walked right past him, and I didn't know what to say. And you know how you say dumb shit when you don't know what to say?
Yes, absolutely.
Right. So I went, hey, you're Lemmy, because that's the thing. And he goes, and you're not. And he never turned around. And you know how normally you'd think, what a dick. I actually went in there and pulled my junk out, and I'm peeing, and I'm thinking, hey, Lemmy told me I wasn't Lemmy, man. And I was so proud of myself. I told everybody, I've told everybody in my life what happened.
It's a great story.
And he wasn't wrong. Yeah, it's a total true story. But people are like, so you met Lemmy? No, I didn't, but he did tell me I wasn't Lemmy. But he never turned around. I wasn't that important to turn. He was winning, man. He was ace. But
I've got to catch the Boys of Serpents. I think they're about to go on.
Okay.
Thank you so much for the
Yes,
interview,
yes,
and I really
yes.
appreciate it.